How would you describe your style?
Comfortable, efficient, basic, minimum.
자유분방하다? 이게 그냥 사람들의 시선을 별로 신경 쓰지 않고 그냥 내가 원하는 대로 입는 것 같아.
What do you care about or pay attention to when you're shopping?
Price. Students, out of budget. Whew, tight budget. Yeah,
그냥 내가 봤을 때 예쁜 옷 사는데? 아니면 편한 옷?
Do you follow the trends?
I do not. Sometimes I do, like these shoes.
난 트렌드를 잘 몰라.
Would you say you're considered fashionable in Korea?
No.
아닌 것 같아.
Right. How much do you think the person who made your clothes is paid?
Whoa, good question. I don't know. Like 100? I don't know.
내가 신문 기사를 봤는데 반도 안 된다고 들었는데 그냥 최저 시급보다 더 낮다고 들었던 것 같아.
Do you think the fashion industry is ethical?
Not really for the humanity-wise.
아니, 절대 아니야. 왜냐면 그 노동자들이 대가를 제대로 받지 못하고 일을 한다는 걸 알고 난 뒤로는 윤리적이라고 생각하지 않고.
So, I don't know, have you heard about the Zara story? For
Zara
fashion?
story? Like, I don't know.
So, there was a case where Zara workers in somewhere in like the Middle East made clothes and then they were shipped out to the US, and when people got them, they found these tags on them that were from the workers that said like, I haven't been paid in like over a month
Whoa,
for these
really?
clothes. Yeah. So when you hear a story like that, what do you think?
It was very shocking, and Zara is one of the brands that I use often since it's really close from school. Well, it's upsetting for the people.
내가 지금 자라를 입고 있는데
어떤 옷이야?
이거 자라 자라 옷인데
How do you think this issue can be resolved? And should the consumer pay more or should the business pay more?
Well, as a consumer, I still want to get clothes. I would still want to get the cheap clothes with good, reasonable quality. But we should pay more money also for the makers in Middle Asia. But the business should behave better towards their rights, towards the makers' rights, I think.
그냥 약간 이 시스템을 바꿔야 하지 않을까 이런 생각을 해. 그러니까 사람들이 이런 걸 모르고 그냥 사니까 그냥 이래도 사람들이 사는데 그냥 유지해야지 약간 이렇게 생각할 수도 있으니까 뭔가 뭐 보이콧을 하던가 그런 걸 해야 하지 않을까? 있고 소비자의 책임도 있다고 생각을 해.
Fast fashion has a detrimental effect on the environment because the factories have to keep on producing textiles in order to meet the demands of the consumers, and in turn consumers keep on purchasing in order to keep up with the trends. So what do you think about this problem?
Consumers can also be more wiser about the choices they make while purchasing clothes. For example, I know that there's always going to be changes, there's always going to be fluctuations in fashion, so however, like, you can notice that there is a sort of a rotation with certain pieces of fashion. Let's say if jeans was a thing in the 1990s, it will be maybe in 2020. So stuff like that. So when you're making choices, when you're buying clothes, I would recommend that consumers choose pieces of clothing that they will eventually wear later on in the future. So instead of just focusing on the current trend, they should be more mindful about their choices.
Much more. It's not only environmental but also societal, because they are not paying a lot to the people who are working in these factories. You have also, well, at least in Europe, you have the fast fashion and the e-commerce. So people just order something and then they bring it back, or they send it back. So there's a lot of traffic also related to it. So yeah, it's not really my style. I never buy something via internet, and I try to be well, as conscious as possible in it.
So we've spoken about consumers' responsibility for some time, but if corporations had to be responsible for what they're doing, but that would perhaps result in raise of the cost of the product that the consumer had to purchase for, do you think that is fair?
Well, at least if something is more expensive in a shop, people will think twice before they buy it. Yeah, now it's so cheap that you just buy it without thinking a lot. So I think it's a logical step. So if you raise the fees for the people, that you raise the prices of the clothes, and then people will start to buy less.
Not only does it have an environmental effect, but also on more social issues, because the companies pay their laborers very little in order to produce the maximum profit. And if corporations could be held responsible, it means that the consumers would have to pay a lot more for the products that they're buying. Do you think the general public will be willing to pay more in order to meet the salaries of the laborers?
I think that would be more of a management problem that the company has. Instead of trying to ask the consumers for more money, I think the company should manage how they're using their money, how the money flows, I think, in general. I mean, more taxation on consumers wouldn't really act as a very positive solution to that.
And lastly, did our dialogue, our conversation perhaps influence the way you might be shopping in the future?
Yes, I think I am a victim of fast fashion.
Oh, you're a victim of fast fashion? Oh, because you keep on shopping?
I was.
Okay.
I was, but not anymore, because I'm a wise consumer now.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.